there was nobody at the immigration. So I was the first one who came in, and it was a breeze. So the Lord wants, it's going to happen. In the same manner that our celebration today, or your celebration that you are making here, as I mentioned, is a historic occasion, because for many years, we were trying already to bring the Santo Niño from the Basilica to Singapore. And the idea there is that the image from the the Santo Niño, and so there was official channels, etc., etc. Our big guys in Cebu, even with the Archbishop and even our ecclesiastical hierarchy here in Singapore, so we're trying to set these things up. But you know, the Santo Niño is his own way of doing things. I remember that image because that came from the Basilica, from our store, from the Basilica store. And Sir Jerry, where's Jerry? Are you here? Oh, Jerry, yeah. So that's the mastermind. He was the one. That's without that man over there. Actually, Jerry only got that. I think probably it's going to be a gift to his wife, and it's going to be hidden in the somewhere in his house. You know, again, like the Cebuanos, you're probably aware of the Santo Niño. He has his own way of doing things. There are stories that he would leave the Santo Niño and walk around the city, and then return to his place with amorsecos in his clothes. So it means to say that he's been moving around into the fields. And those are the stories that we hear from our childhood and pass on to our parents, that he moves around on his own, just like a little child. He has his own way of doing things. And so, maybe the little child said, you got stuck with all your bureaucracies, with all those top-level negotiations. I'd rather do it my way. And so, but of course, I cannot go here without the instrument of a human being. So that's why our good friend Jerry brought him here. And the rest is history. You begin to make home visits of the Santo Niño. And that's exactly what he is. He visits our homes. He visits our hearts. He visits each and every one of us. And I tell you, I do believe this, indeed in my heart, that Singapore is the springboard for him to go around the world. And that is the meaning of the Epiphany. We just celebrated Epiphany, the visit of the Magi. And they are the Magi, as you all know, they are not Jews, they are pagans. Why will three pagans, although it's not necessarily that there are only three, because we say it's three, because there are three gifts, frankincense, gold, and myrrh, but that doesn't mean that there were only three, but of course that's the tradition. But they were pagans. Why will pagans leave the comforts of their homes and travel for hundreds of miles using a star as their guide. You know, if probably the Magi had a GPS, it would have been easier. No? The global positioning system, that would be easy. But they just trusted on a flickering star. And the star didn't even speak. The shepherds got a direct revelation. The shepherds got the information from the angels. It was a direct information. The Magi did not have that information. They just got a kind of a hunch that there's something different in Bethlehem. There's something going to be different. And Herod also says the same thing. Something different. Something different because there is a threat to my throne. And he wants to see Jesus, not because he wants to give him gifts, but he wants to cut his throat. So there were two different, there were two different intentions of those who hold information about Jesus. And the information that Herod has came from the experts of the law. They had the scriptures with them. Scriptures with them. And the scriptures is loaded with information. Just like the internet, we are loaded with information. So matter of fact, there's an information overload in the internet. And yet, the Magi does not have much information. What's the difference between the Magi and Herod? The Magi took that step. In spite of the small information, I will make my move. And that is what we call the leap of faith. And that is what, my brothers and sisters, is what makes the difference, what makes a Christian different from another Christian, from another human being, that we take a leap of faith. And this is what we are trying to achieve now, what you are doing now, of celebrating this seminal work, of celebrating the Holy Child. And maybe, for your information, since I said that I came from the Basilica, we are also celebrating the 450 years this year of the finding of the Santorini in the Basilica. And so, we are making this connection today in Singapore. We might say that this is the Magi's visit of a third world country going to a first world country. And this is probably what Pope Francis is trying to remind us of the call for new evangelization, of evangelizing the world in a new way, in a fresh way. And the Santorini, being a child, tells us to do something that is something new, something innovative. So that's why the Holy Child did not allow bureaucracy, protocols to stop him from going here. He had his way of visiting us. The Lord, we did not discover the Lord. It was the Lord who discovered us. The Lord is always taking the initiative. And right now, that is what He's doing to us. And maybe, as you begin this historic celebration of the Santo Niño, maybe at the end of our celebration here, is to ask ourselves this question: what is the Holy Child asking us to do? What is our role? Why are we here in Singapore? Why did He choose Singapore to be a springboard for something else? Maybe that is something that we can reflect upon. Maybe the gift of Singapore is not merely to spread prosperity, but maybe something much, much deeper. In the same manner as when the Magi visited the Lord. You know, when we visit a politician or a rich person, we expect the rich person to give us something back. But in this particular case, it's different. It was the visitor who gave gifts to the child. But when they left, they were much richer. And come to think of it, when they went and when they saw the Lord, they did not go back to the same route. They took another way. What does it mean? It means that when we had this opportunity and this gift to receive the Lord, we do not have to go back to our old ways. We have to look for another way, another route, another highway. We don't have to go back to the old ways. And this is what 2015 is all about. We do not have to go back to 2014 and beat ourselves to a pulp because we did this and we did that. But we have to move forward. And our little child is asking us to do that. And so, my Eucharistic celebration here, my Mass here, is going to, I will offer my Mass to all of you, to all your dreams and wishes, especially for your families, for your country, for Singapore, for the Philippines, and especially also for the intentions of Pope Francis, who next week will visit the Philippines, and we hope that he will drop by Cebu. No? But of course, that's not part of the itinerary. But you know, Pope Francis always bring us a surprise, just like the little child. They always does something out of the box. And so that's probably what is going to happen now. Many out of the boxes, things that is going to surprise us this year. And my coming over here, you know, and again meeting the Santo Niño from a box in the Basilica. He was brought out, you know, from that box. Now he's here with us today. We thank him for the graces that we have received, but the more important thing is his presence with us today. And I hope that this 9-day novena that you have started will be a fruitful event for the Filipino community, for the Catholic community here in Singapore. And may His presence be always an inspiring presence for all of us. Pit Señor.
Pit Señor.